The first Battle for Zendikar event has come and gone, and we have seen some massive developments in its wake. Specifically, I'm talking about Jace, Vryn's Prodigy. It was an underwhelming card when it came out at first, 2 mana for a Merfolk looter that could later maybe become a Planeswalker. But what we're actually finding out is that the little guy is incredibly powerful. It's one of the strongest Planeswalkers that have ever been printed, it seems. Still, with that said, none of us really expected it to hit $80, did we? If we're being honest with ourselves, we didn't know that, something so recently printed, a standard card, could really be that expensive. But as of the recording of this video, Jace actually topped out at $80 and is currently sitting around $60 to $75, which is, one of the highest things we've ever seen in standard. Coincidentally, it's the highest price we've seen since the last time we were on Zendikar, and there was another Planeswalker named Jace that got pretty expensive as well. Of course, I'm talking about the Mind Sculptor, which topped out around $100 in its prime. So how did we get here? Outside of Jace the Mind Sculptor and Bonfire of the Damned, we've never seen a card in Standard really hold these type of prices. After the Star City Open in Indianapolis last weekend, where Jace was all over the event, even though it was actually in a Tarka Red deck that won it, it's no surprise that people were rushing to get their hands on Jace. The run we've seen on it is something extremely rare and truly unpredictable. It's a perfect storm, a set of circumstances that don't come around very often and almost never all happen in succession. So what exactly are those circumstances? Let's break it down. Number one, it's really good. I'll start with the obvious and I'll just get it out of the way. Jace is one of the best Planeswalkers we've seen in a long time, even though people didn't necessarily know it at first. It's been all over Standard since it was printed. It shows up in Modern as well, and we've even seen it in some older formats. There's really no doubt at this point that it's here to stay. 2, it's played across multiple decks. Jace is not the only powerful Planeswalker for Magic Origins. Chandra and Nissa both see play as well and have had success. However, unlike Chandra and Nissa, Jace is actually played across multiple decks, so that means even if the metagame itself, the format supports a lot of decks, really Jace is the glue holding them all together, unlike those other cards which really only fit in 1 and maybe 2 kinds of decks. 3, Jace is from a core set. I know Magic Origins wasn't marketed as a core set, and in some ways it's not. But in other ways, it's the summer set, which is a core set over the past 6 years, and historically these have never really sold as well as a big fall set like Khans of Tarkir or Battle for Zendikar would. The result of this is that we see cards from those core sets hold higher prices than they would if they were in a different set. We saw it with Thragtusk a few years ago. We saw it with Phantasmal Image. We've seen these sort of things before, and Jace is simply the latest in that trend. Number 4, we are right at rotation as of this weekend. Jace is really powerful. It's good across Standard, but that's been true of a lot of cards in the past that didn't hit $80. But the thing is, right now, everyone is out looking to build their Standard decks. They're trying to get a jump on the next year, and they don't want to miss out. So they're trying to put together their decks right now. There's a rush of people trying to pick up the card this week. And as the price goes up, people don't want to miss out, so they buy theirs, and they continue to see the price go up. And that culminates in the event last weekend where Jace did very well. And it creates this big run on the card, and it spikes up to $80 for a few days. Simply put, there will never be more unsatisfied demand for Jace than there is right now. All of which leads us to the question, what is the future of Jace? Well, the flip side to all of this unsatisfied demand right now is that, over the next couple weeks, people who want Jace will pick up Jace. And while those players are comfortable paying whatever, high number that is they pay for Jace, other players will say, hey, I have this Jace I'm not using. You know what? I would like to get $50 for it. I'm going to sell it to a dealer. I'm going to put it on TCG Player. And that will create more supply in the market, while the demand will fall off because the players who want Jace have already picked it up over the past week, or they will in the coming weeks, and that will create more supply than there is new demand. And as a result of that, we're going to see Jace's price come down over the next couple of weeks. It's not going to drop like a rock, and it's not going to be $10 next week, but I'm also very confident that it's not going to be $100. It's going to trend back down, and if you're somebody who needs them and wants to play with them, that's great. But if you can afford to wait even just a week, but maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month, you're going to be able to get them for cheaper than you will right now. There's no reason to buy in right now when everyone is rushing to it. Maybe play a different deck for a few weeks, maybe hold off, maybe pick up the other pieces. But if you can be patient on Jace, you're going to be paid off for it in the end. So there you go. That's why Jace is a $70 to $80 card today. And it's also why it won't be that expensive in the months to come. I know it's really a hot button issue right now with the cost of playing standard. The decks look really expensive. It's much more expensive than it was a few months ago. But you have to remember that this will pass. This comes around every time we have a rotation, and it won't last forever, I promise. So I hope this video helped you. It was I hope educational. I've seen a lot of this come and go. So thank you for watching, everybody. Remember to like and comment and subscribe if you enjoy the videos. Up next for me, I will be heading to Grand Prix Madison for Sealed, and then I will be working the Pro Tour in Milwaukee the week after that. So I'm really looking forward to see how Battle for Zendikar will impact sort of the Magic scene moving forward. So again, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.